feel really bad about it, angry, because it's ruined so many people's lives.
It was a wonder drug that turned into a medical disaster. In South London, Susan tells me she was given Stilbestrol, also called DES, after the birth of her daughter. The effect on her health, she believes, has been devastating. She survived blood cancer, but now has an aggressive form of breast cancer.
My life has been, for the last few years, chemo, operations, chemo, radio, bone infusions, doctor's appointments, constant.
And you believe it could be linked to your exposure to DES?
I do think so, and I think it's a lot of other ladies, it's a time bomb for them because they could have time bombs in their breasts and they don't know about this drug, that they might have been exposed to it.
Doctors gave her the drug to stop her breast milk. The year is significant. It was 1975, 2 years after the authorities told us the drug was banned because of its link to cancer.
They knew, but they still gave it to me. I think it's awful, absolutely disgusting. So it's not just me, it's other women as well. The people don't even know about it.
Susan is one of more than 200 people who have contacted ITV News after seeing our ongoing DES investigation.
And I looked, I thought, oh my God, that is me. Told my husband, I said, you know, I want you to get hold of and literally contact this lady, which is you, and actually tell her. And that's what it's been.
Why did you feel so compelled to get in touch?
Because I was lied to all those years and said it's fine, but it's not fine.
Stilbestrol.
As many as 300,000 women may have been prescribed the drug on the NHS over 4 decades. Invented in Britain in 1939, DES was used to stop breast milk and was also given to pregnant women to prevent miscarriage. But as early as the 1950s, scientists warned DES could cause cancer. Yet pharmaceutical companies still aggressively marketed it and sales boomed. It wasn't until 1971 that US scientists confirmed DES was unsafe. And in 1973, the UK government claims DES was withdrawn after writing a letter to all doctors telling them to stop using it on premenopausal women. But we've found dozens of women who say they were given it after that date, some as late as 1980. So we've come to the British Library to try to find that official letter from 1973. This is where public health records are held, and we've spent months looking at the evidence. I've been searching through the archives because this is where the letter should be. And these are official documents that were sent out in the 1960s and 70s by the Committee on Safety of Medicines. They were warning doctors about adverse reactions to certain drugs. But we can't find anything. There's nothing at all here about DES. And that letter doesn't exist. What this proves is the health authorities failed to act to protect women from the dangers. DES was never withdrawn or restricted. The paper trail is damning.
More could have been done by the regulators, and if you look at it in that way, yeah, that becomes a regulatory failure.
This expert on pharmaceutical safety believes the government bears ultimate responsibility for the impact on women.
I think women have been hugely failed in the UK, and I think particularly because this was a drug that was developed from government funding. So there must be accountability and responsibility in there.
Why have successive governments failed to take action on this?
It's a women's health issue. These tend to take a long time before anyone takes them seriously.
On the south coast, Mary was 19 when she was given pills to stop her breast milk after giving birth prematurely. She believes they were DES and she suffered a severe reaction, resulting in emergency breast surgery.
I was out cold. I lost 2 or 3 days of my life. It just knocked me out completely.
It was 1977, years after warnings about the drug.
If it was a drug that nobody should have had and they realised what it was doing, they should have really stopped it. But I think because I had an old family doctor, maybe they just carried on handing it out. I don't know. She must have been about 1 there.
Decades later, in her 40s, she developed cervical cancer and had a full hysterectomy.
If that has caused the trouble, then now I can understand that I just wasn't just unlucky to have all those women problems. It was all connected.
Women may never know for sure what they were exposed to because medical records have been destroyed or lost. This former midwife does recall administering DES in the late 1970s. They still thought it was safe.
It was very widely used in general for women who didn't wish to breastfeed.
What's the latest date you can remember that it was given?
The end of 1979.
Research suggests that DES mothers may have a 30% higher risk of breast cancer, and Sue believes women should get extra screening.
By our actions of administering this drug, we have exposed these women to an increased risk of cancer. And early screening obviously has been proven to help in the long-term outcome.
Why do you think that's not in place?
It's money. At the end of the day, it's money. And there isn't enough money within the health. The health service is sick.
And we asked the Health Secretary if he'd commit to enhanced screening for those affected.
I'm certainly open to looking at that. It's one of the many things that the government's looking at in light of ITV's investigation, and I'll definitely keep you posted.
Yet there has still been no attempt to trace and inform those exposed to this dangerous drug. And women fear lessons from past failures have not been learnt, and they now want to bring this controversial issue out into the open. Sarah Corker, ITV News.